Yo, it's your boy Art Man Boxing, and we back with another boxing conversation, man. Look, hold on, man. Let me get in this chair all the way. Shit, man, dude. Funny shit been happening in boxing, man. You know, we just had a great fight. Um, but after great fights, you hear a lot of rumbling from the peasants. You know what I'm saying? You gotta call them peasants because Charlo compared to Wilder is a peasant because it's like, dude, you're not on this level. What Canelo say? You're not on my level, man. You're not on my fucking level. Straight up. Oh shit. Not on my level. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Um, but yeah, Charlo, he was talking real reckless about the champ, man. Like, it's like he waited all the way until Wilder lost to come out and say something. You know that kind of, you know what Charlo kind of remind me of? Charlo kind of remind me of that dude or whoever, the one that took the picture of me from afar and then posted on Twitter. Because it's like you had all the time to say something to me. You choose now to go on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and post that bullshit. But yeah, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Let's fucking get it, man. Let's get it. With Charlo, I thought I thought he was just gonna say, you know what, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say anything because I already seen what happened last time when I opened my big fat mouth. But nah, it's like every time he opens up his mouth, he makes it fucking worse. And this time he really sealed the deal. He put the race comments right. That was like he could have been canceled right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But we was like, you know what? It's all good because we not really sweating it. But then he goes on to call the fans broke now. After all this, it's like, yo, you know what? You didn't kill your career,
What's
basically,
going on, man?
or your reputation within the community. Same community you hating on. And they want to have the nerve to say people switching up his words. But what's going on, my brother?
How you doing?
Shit, you done with your battle? Your Twitter battle, man?
Oh, nah, it's just, that's just, I don't know which one. I think I'm actively involved in like four or five at this point. And and what's crazy is that it's over dead issues. But anyways,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
yeah, nah, now don't get me wrong. Out of the two of them, he's always for some reason been the goofiest. I don't know if it's because he has a chip on his shoulder from because like Southern T he brought up a good point. He was like he's always been heated because his bigger brother could probably whoop his ass, and I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's probably there's some insecurity there. But my thing is, what do you think you're gonna accomplish? Do you think the people that have been booing you are suddenly gonna turn on their own country? No, that's only I mean their own people. That's only what unfortunately that's only what we be doing. And
Man,
it's because of people like Charlo why we can't get no consolidation. Because of people like him. They count like Charlo doesn't understand. The ops count on people like you. They count on you. They counted on people like him to fuck up the Nat Turner rebellion. You
yeah.
know, give one nigga a little bit of bread, a little bit better clothes, a little bit of a better ride, and he'll turn.
It's like you
That
stop thinking you us and think you're just yourself, which ain't
right.
wrong for to think for yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to understand that you belong to a community, and it's not something that you created.
And what's crazy is that he's talking like he's already been openly accepted by other people. Ain't nobody accepted you. Like my thing is, if let's say that the Ring magazine of which he holds a belt actually put him on the pound for pound list, then maybe I could see you having some incentive to switch some shit up. But he haven't even gotten that. Nobody likes you. I feel like fucking Chris Tucker talking to Jackie Chan. Nobody they don't give a damn about you, Lee.
And
They don't like you. I don't like you. The
for
girl
those
don't like you. Nobody likes you.
for those who don't know what Charlo said, He said, "Let's go to word for word." He probably you think he deleted the tweet?
I doubt it. He's too fucking stupid.
Let's see if it's still on here.
He is too stupid. I know he hasn't deleted it. I'd be shocked if he's fucking deleted it.
He deleted it.
Oh my god. I'm so he does listen. I mean, it ain't gonna help.
Oh no, it's still there. It's still there.
Oh, I knew it. What I say?
Okay.
What I say?
I was about to say, but he says it was a whole community writing me because I made a comment about skills of the fighter. Where they broke ass at now, go cry in the car. Now, when you say whole community, what community are you talking about? Because I remember it was the black community, and not just the black community. I saw other communities looking as well, but primarily it was the black community saying something. But then he says we're broke. Where they broke ass at now? Go cry in the car. Hey man, I know his PR people probably like, what the fuck,
Jermell Charlo wasn't smart enough to retain PR. He talks for himself, and you can tell. You can
yeah,
tell he talks for himself. Like he's not. He probably thought he could really handle it, and it's just like. And it's funny because everyone's talking about Jamal, and I'm like, Jamal knows for a damn fact. Number one, like Jamal already realized with the Canelo situation, because Jamal was closer to the Canelo situation than Jamel ever was, because Jamel was definitely never gonna fight Canelo, and Jamal learned that they will always turn on you for their own with the Canelo talk. People are still calling Jamal all kinds of stuff now, and he hasn't even touched Canelo. He hadn't even been close to him.
close to him.
So Jamal already learned this lesson. Jamel is still goofy. Like I'm like, bro, did you not pick up the vibe when everybody was booing you every time you won? The only time people didn't care about who Charlo was fighting for the most part was when he was fighting another black dude. That's it. When it was him versus Harrison, really only we gave a shit. When it's him versus everyone else, the entire crowd went against him.
Went against his ass. And look, my dude says, Art man, what you think of Punch Drunk Boxing saying the community should apologize to Jamel? First of all, I'm not gonna let nobody that's not my community tell me what the fuck we should do with as a community. Like Punch Drunk. I gotta man. When I see him in person, I'm not threatening him, but when I see him in person, I want him to explain those George Floyd comments. I really do. As a Minnesota native, I would love to hear those George Floyd comments from him. I want him to explain that shit. Please do, because that is some bullshit. And him saying that we should apologize, fuck him. We don't owe him shit. We don't have to do shit. Real shit. I'm sorry.
Isn't Punch Drunk Puerto Rican?
Yeah, like what? He's something
Yeah.
that's not foundational. So what
Yeah,
the
Punch Drunk is that Puerto Rican kid that got really upset that the black dudes wouldn't let him kick it with them on the corner. He got really mad that he probably got punked on, and the black dudes didn't like him saying nigga, and they kept reminding him that he wasn't actually black, and he took that shit personal. And now he's trying to make a fucking career in his late 30s just talking shit.
just talking shit?
Like
Like
none of what he says adds up. I swear, I had no idea who Punch Drunk was until somebody in like the comment section on one of Dante's videos was like, "Oh, this guy speaks the truth." And of course, it was nothing but a race fan. I went on his page and I was like, "Oh, so it's just shitting on black fighters."
and,
Okay, cool.
and then Charlo shouts him out.
Yeah, Charlo committed cultural suicide. You gonna shout out Punch Drunk? And I'm like, bro, I guarantee you, if I go on Punch Drunk's videos right now, I can find some shit him bashing both fucking brothers. I bet it.
You said he did what?
He committed cultural suicide.
Cultural suicide. That should have been the title of the fucking video, to be honest.
He's just like, bro, like I said, and it's funny because you could tell Jamel's hard headed because Jamal is not gonna say nothing to him. He's just like, you know what? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, do your thing, baby. And then when the shit fall off, it is what it is. I think because Jamal already got his wake up call. He tried that. Oh, Canelo's a great fighter bullshit, and didn't work.
Immediately.
Yeah, didn't work. They were like, nope, we don't like you, nigga.
Look,
We don't like you.
said cultural suicide. Well played. That's true. That's the fucking truth, man. That's the fucking truth, man.
What it do, Pim?
What's going on, brother? We just sit here
Fine,
cutting up,
doing
man.
this shit.
The topic of hand is cultural suicide from Charlo.
Oh, you talking about? Yeah, man. Everybody else had to hit me hip on it because I missed what the what he said. I had to catch the replay and you know kick a man while you're down and all that shit. But look how many people was riding for him. The same people he talked about was the same people, you know, that when he had his ups and downs, people was right there to pick him up. Them same very people. And then now look at you. You was up when you was calling up there, calling him phony Harrison, but Tony Harrison was getting all up in your booty cheeks, spraying them shits on stage and making you look like a bit punk ass bitch. We was still behind your ass, and we just blew it all. We could have made all kind of fucking silly ass videos on how he sat
Hey,
there
I
and
ain't gonna
your
lie.
bitch ass.
I ain't gonna lie. When I heard that shit from Tony Harrison, I'm gonna play that shit in a minute. But when I heard that shit from Tony Harrison, I said, "Yo, I ain't gonna lie. He got on this nigga ass, cuz he said you can get all the Pyru, all them niggas, boy. Fuck you talking about?" Nigga, he was clowning that because you want to run around trying to gangbang and all that shit. But it's just funny, dude. It's like, bro, like you just let a
Even the
nigga
gang,
Detroit pull your car like this. Like,
even the gangbangers probably be sitting at home like, nigga, has anyone ever seen Jamel around here? That motherfucker been in the gym since he was like 8 years old. Don't nobody know that nigga.
Only thing that nigga better bang is them boxing gloves. That's what they said. That's
right,
the only thing you better bang is them boxing gloves. You better stay
Right.
your ass off these streets and stay your ass in that gym.
talking
Cause
about
he ain't.
shooters. He got shooters, cuz he got shooters, man.
And then when people talk about the confrontations that he be having, how he be picking and choosing who to buck up at in their face and stuff like that. He don't be doing that shit with everybody, but everybody gave him a pass. These
He
same
want to
people.
buck up with civilians, but not motherfucking the boxers.
He wasn't even bucking up at all the boxers. Some of them didn't say shit. He'd be like, "Well, didn't hear you. Whatever. You want to be friends? You
Right.
want to be friends?" Like
Right.
Tay Jones say, "Hello, world." He want to be all nice and shit, right?
Yeah,
And
he had none of that Harrison energy for fucking Castano or any of the other little ass people he done, like Rosario. None of those people. None of those people.
now look at him like your ticket sales your ticket sales that where you are a reflection of you and your boxing game and your mouthpiece. Now look what you just did. Now all them broke fans ain't gonna be there. How you gonna call somebody broke that watch boxing that if they don't choose to come and watch your fight, they choose to tune their TV on the subscription or the pay-per-view to watch your fight. But you're gonna call all these motherfuckers on YouTube that got something to say about you because you didn't word your shit right. If you would have worded it right and elaborated on that shit, maybe it would have came out better. Maybe if you had a PR rep, maybe it would have never been said. But you said it. I gave you a pass on it because I was like, maybe that ain't what the nigga said, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. Because I always do that for people. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what some of these boxers, they just put it like this, not just boxers. Some of these motherfuckers in life ain't the smartest motherfuckers, and they don't get their shit off proper like they're supposed to. And they don't be using PR and shit like that. They be doing the shit themselves, thinking that they smarter than everybody else, thinking people supposed to read in between the lines on what they're saying. So I gave it a benefit of the doubt with it. Now, if you look at what he said, you can't.
Because he
But for
doubled
the
down.
same people he was talking about, he called them broke.
Well, Jamel Charlo's boxing takes have, first of all, no one has even cared about. Like you just said earlier, someone had to catch you up on what Jamel said because nobody really gave a shit. It only made headlines because some people happened to be on Twitter during a lunch break and they actually took fucking notice. Next, another reason why I think that Jamal was playing off, because remember when they was at that fucking bullshit steakhouse or whatever, and they was bragging about ordering everything on the menu, and then Jamel fucked around and said, "Man, you duck Canelo." I think that shit never left Jamal. He was like, "Oh, okay, nigga. So I'm gonna get on Instagram Live and you gonna talk some shit like that? Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure." And then that's why he's just sitting there letting them burn right now, letting his ass burn to a goddamn crisp.
His man, I don't know what it is. I don't want to say he on the drugs. I don't want to say he got CTE, but I'm just thinking like, in my right mind, what I'm thinking is that this guy, maybe he spent so much time in the gym that he lacks certain things when it comes to like education and how to articulate yourself, and just just knowing who he is as a person. I don't even feel like he know who he is as a person.
He trying to figure it out right now, and we're
He
watching him
don't know if
self
he want
destruct.
to, or he don't know if he want to be in the, you know what I'm saying, in the gym. He want to know if, bro, he don't know. He don't know. He don't even know if he want to fight Castano again, but he want to know that he want to talk about what Wilder doing and what Wilder fans are got going on.
I mean,
And
but
Castano put all kinds of hands on his ass. That was, woof. I
but
was,
but,
I was at the house
but check,
mad.
yeah, it was. But check this out, right? Right. When when the WBC did what they did to Charlo, who was behind them? All the broke people, right? All them broke people that was riding for you, saying that shit wrong, blah blah blah, whoop whoop whoop. And what happened? What happened? Right? We were speaking louder for you than you were speaking for yourself, you dumb motherfucker. You old soft shoeing ass punctified Negro. Now look at you. Now let's put it to the flip side. How like Artman said, how many motherfuckers really care about your bitch ass? If Deontay Wilder would have said that shit, motherfuckers would have never heard the end of it. It would have been on ESPN. It would have been on the British broadcast. It would have been on Sky Sports. It would have been everywhere. But when you say something, nobody gives a fuck. Only people remember what that motherfucker says, what his brother said, and that's you, Duck Canelo. That's the only thing everybody remember that come out of that old Muppet ass, old Sesame Street looking ass motherfucker. Matter of fact, cut that shit off your hair, nigga. You ain't got no hairline. Cut that shit off. How about that? Over there looking like some dry ass top running on the top of that motherfucker. Over there looking like them California dry ass weeds in the back. Set that shit on fire and burn that nigga down. Whenever you cut it off, nigga, let it go.
And you know what makes me think about this shit right here is what one of the British T fans said, or I don't know if it was just a British T fan. Matter of fact, I think it was my dude Lefty. He said something to the effect that like boxers should strive to have a fan like Artman, basically, or just Wilder fans in general. People who are willing to spend money on you, support you, and do their research and learn about the sport and this and that. Those are real fans. And you calling these people broke? These people put their money together and get some shit and make shit happen. So what type of fans do you have, Charlo?
And what you just said right there is something that Jamal had figured out right after the Canelo situation. And that's exactly why he chose this moment to just drink a nice tall glass and shut the fuck up. He's like, you know what? That information that you just said, how you need to cultivate a fan base like Wilder, Jamal is just now getting that. And that's why he's like, nope, I'm not going to comment on shit. I'm not talking about Wilder. I'm not talking about Jamel. I'm not talking about black people. I'm going to just shut the fuck up until I have a fight worth talking about. Because let's keep it real. All those fans that Jamel is trying to impress, they did like Jamel more than Jamal. And Jamal understands this. So that's why he's on some, let me just keep a hush mode type shit, which is smart on his part. But, you know, and that's why he didn't, like I said, that's why he also didn't bother to brief Jamel on the racial dynamics. Like, they will give you a pat on the head when you say some good shit, but that doesn't mean you welcome you invited to the barbecue. As soon as you fight someone under with a few skin tones lighter than you, it's over with.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a disease or something. But you see, somebody said, what is the brother saying in this? And I said, he's doing the right thing. He ain't saying the motherfucking thing.
Nothing. Hush mode.
Boy, not even Derek James saying anything. Don't ask Derek James about this shit. That's just, he's just here to work.
Yeah, they're trying to get hot takes from Derek James. Yeah, y'all want to ask Derek James about something? Ask about, you know, Spence's recovery and Marcus Brown's better be a fight plan or some shit.
Man, speaking of that, people been coming at my head. Oh, here go Artman again. Here go Artman again. I'm just saying, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Marcus Brown pull up the upset. Or I don't even think it'll be considered an upset, to be honest.
The disrespect of Marcus Brown literally just shows the ages of the people that do the most talking on Twitter. What are y'all talking about? They're really trying to say that Gvozdyk or whatever beating a 40-year-old Stevenson is better than Brown's win over a 35-year-old Jack who just came off a fucking win streak of Darrell, Lucien Butte, George Groves, who is who y'all give Callum Smith credit for, and a bunch of other people. So,
And the
and then
six.
a draw with James DeGale. Yeah.
Shout out to my dude Southern T. What's good? We talking about that better be it versus Marcus Brown. If people sleeping on Marcus Brown, you know what I'm gonna do? One of these days, I'm gonna sit back and just do all my film study on both of those fighters and really make a real life prediction on it. I'm gonna keep y'all niggas updated on that shit because I really want to see this. Because from what I last seen from Better Biev, I didn't like it, and he's only getting older. And that fight was such a long time ago. So,
And he was losing the majority of it. It's
so
funny because people like to comment on punch stats when it comes to that fight, but then when you bring up punch stats for Prograis v. Taylor, all of a sudden it's punch stats don't matter. I'm like, so do they matter or do they not?
man, nigga, long counts don't matter either.
Oh, right. Yeah. Like it's funny because like today we've been seeing on Twitter that Prograis been talking a lot of shit about Taylor because he outlanded Taylor during the whole fight. But then those same people will happily refer to CompuBox when talking about Wilder versus Fury 1. And I'm like, oh, so punch stats matter only when the white guy doesn't win.
Yeah,
For sure. Got it.
got it. That's how you just gotta play it out. Just like, yeah, okay, I got it.
Yeah. Only when the white guy doesn't win, that's when punch stats matter. For sure. Okay.
They always switch up the narrative and start blaming us and say we wrong, and this and that.
Yeah, exactly. And the disrespect only comes because obviously because of Marcus Brown happens to be a black dude. Because Better Be have just fought Adam Deans, and can't nobody tell me who he is right now. He wasn't disrespected at all. He was not called a bum. He was not called washed. Callum Johnson was a club fighter. He was called a sophisticated puncher for fighting absolutely nobody. But Marcus Brown actually has some elite wins, and they're like, oh, Marcus Brown is a complete bum. My thing is, I'm like, do you understand that by calling Marcus Brown a bum, you're making Better Biev look bad? It's the same. It's the same reason why all of a sudden, fake Fury fans decided to give Wilder some credit because they realized Fury's legacy is some dog shit. His best win is 42-year-old Klitschko, who got knocked out by two bums, and with all his other fights, including Hammer and some other people, he had to fucking cheat with gloves with the thumb not attached and PEDs with Hammer. That's his legacy. That's what they had to start giving Wilder credit out of bumfuck nowhere. Actually, Wilder was skilled this whole time. He come a long way.
What they really care about is that he slayed the big black man.
That's literally it.
The big black buck.
Black man, he slayed him. All that shit. But somebody says, Unique Boy says, Art, what do you feel about Malik saying when Wilder fights Tyson is like fighting Godzilla or King Kong? Is he saying like both of them are like Godzilla and King Kong? Because if you say,
I mean, look. I mean, it is what it is. With that fight, I don't feel nothing about it. Malika got his own opinions and stuff like that. They working on some stuff as we speak. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, it was a good wrestling match. Like Coach Chris said, it was a good wrestling match, and that's what that's Fury's go-to is when the going gets tough. He leans and just wells on you.
He was fucking Wilder up with that lean and then uppercut. I was like, Wilder, man, fuck, move your head out the way. But I'm like, how the fuck you even get out the way of that shit, man?
And also, can we just sit back and acknowledge that for the majority of his career, Wilder was one rib dinner away from cruiserweight? Can we acknowledge that? He fought this man initially at fucking 217.
Even though Wilder big, buff, and tall, he's still way less than Fury by a lot. You know what I mean?
Wilder would have been had a better cruiserweight run than Holyfield and Usyk combined if he would have just spent time cutting down the cruiserweight. He would be who could touch him at cruiserweight?
Nobody, but It is what it is, man. Wilder's still legend at the end of the day. To me, I don't care what none of these fucking British T fans or anybody say.
Yeah,
That
if
motherfucker
you're a
Art
legend, then
Man,
you must have
Art
had
Man,
to
I heard
beat a legend.
word in the street, Art Man banned from going to that stadium again for smoking.
Oh hell no.
Nah, nah. But hey, that shit was funny as hell though, man. Cause I was like, man, hold on, this shit's lit as hell. I gotta light one for my niggas. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it, but you wasn't the only one. I tell you that much.
You said what?
I bet you wasn't the only one.
That's what made me start doing it. I'm like, man, I smell something in the air. Shit, that's the green light for me to light my shit. You know, I swear to God, I was literally right next to Trader Truth, and I was like,
Yeah.
that shit's lit. But let me spark this real quick. But I ended up getting into it with some fucking British tea fan, man. I swear, bro. I swear on everything I love. We was gonna end up getting fighting before the fight, dude.
Okay.
So what happened was when I had lit that joint up, right in that video, I lit that shit up. I started smoking, doing my thing, watching the fight. Me watching Wilder come in, and then this fucking British tea fan was like, "Hey, mate, you gotta put that out, mate. My wife is pregnant, mate." I'm like, ah, shit, here niggas go. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, niggas can't just enjoy they smoke. I pay all this money for these tickets. I can't enjoy my smoke. Anyways, um, I'm just like, and then I'm just like, I'll put it out. But then he started getting in this, trying to get in my face, him and his mate. And they're on the lower level, and I'm looking down at them. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? I said, boy, I'll put it out, but nigga, don't you try to get in my face. We gonna fuck around and have a fight up in this bitch, nigga. Y'all better enjoy the fight. Like Terrence Crawford, what Terrence Crawford say, you better enjoy you better, what Terrence Crawford say? He said, better pay attention to your fight before you ain't make it to your fight or whatever. Basically, and the motherfucker was just like, all right, bet. And his wife came, and it was just like, you know, Wilder got in the ring, and that was that. But it was still like, man, the shit was fucking lit because the atmosphere was just full of emotion, dude. It went from black people turning up to the UK crowd turning up to black folks just looking sad, and I'm just like, shit, let me get the fuck up out this mix.
Somebody brought that fucking Revolutionary War special. That Abraham Lincoln for you. Somebody brought a musket, trying to get a shot off.
Musket trying to look for Art Man in the crowd. Hey, that shit funny as hell, man.
Somebody tried to fucking what's the nigga name? Fucking like Stonewall Jackson, the nigga on the cover of the oatmeal. Somebody
Damn,
tried
tried to Abraham Lincoln Art Man.
somebody brought a musket up to that motherfucker.
It's a joke. They just found some gun somewhere in England or whatever, and it's like an old ass fucking Napoleon Dynamite ass gun, whatever.
Yeah, people would still be hoarding them things in their house. You know,
because those are guns from back when people actually gave a fuck about the UK as a world power. How the hell you lose you like? I always make fun of them when they start talking shit like racial shit. I'm always like, you guys are so low goddamn IQ. You lost your entire empire to bands of fucking immigrants and slaves. Like, shut up.
Yeah. Basically.
That's true. Mel is not. He is not likable at all, and hopefully he doesn't think he's gonna be like Mayweather, where he tries to play the evil villain. Because at least Mayweather had made sure to keep black
can't play
support.
the evil coon and expect to get some fans from
but y'all gotta understand.
Nobody respects a traitor.
They made the media made Mayweather the evil villain.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I remember that shit. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember it like I was there at the time, but I went back and did my research. I seen Dan Rich out them talk about the bullshit, man.
Yeah.
It was like Mayweather, he could have took the Sugar Ray Leonard route, smiling at the camera, but instead he took the dark route. And I'm like, what the fuck is the dark route?
But they was all a part of it, Art.
I was like, yo, what is this?
Yeah. And they started.
I was asking some of the OGs. I was like, bro, y'all OGs wasn't calling this shit out.
Yeah, but Art, they didn't have social media and shit. But this like Mayweather was taking all kind of B-side shit, beating motherfuckers' ass, right? Give a golden boy, give a leather cat. Give a golden boy, and then on people's undercards and shit like that, taking the B-side, C-side, and people was not giving him no credit. He wasn't giving him no credit. And then when he finally got on top, and then he started digging in their chest and being a straight asshole to him, like the same way how Water got done. But now, you got all social media, you can go all multiple places, but people were they was on his ass for no reason, for being
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then the media
I
will
heard
try to
that's
come in and make all kinds of weird videos about the relationship between him and his father and his mom. I'm like, what the fuck that got to do with anything? It's just like whenever they bring up him and Tank's issues outside the ring, I'm like, do you realize we could do that for every boxer ever? The fuck that got to do with the sport? Like, bro, stop.
And that's what I told these guys, right? They be like, well, I don't like Wilder because of all of his excuses, what he did to Mark Brennan. And I'll be thinking in my head, it's like, how does that affect you? Well, I'm passionate about boxing and this and the third. No, but how is that really going to affect you?
They're
You
gonna
got
say
more
everything
passion.
but black. They're gonna say
You can't.
everything but black.
Well, some of them are black, but
No. I'm saying that the people who say that are gonna say everything but it's because he's black.
oh yes. You're
not just
absolutely
because
right.
he's black, it's because he's stand up and black and loudmouth. And they don't
Well,
like it.
well, yeah, that too. And that's why I told these boxers, like, as soon as somebody say something like that, watch out now, because. But
Man,
also,
I was thinking of something, man. Do y'all feel like a lot of the shit that happened to Wilder in his boxing career is because he said that till his day comment?
it was way before that.
100%. That's
That
exactly
was,
when everyone decided, yep, I'm gonna hate him. Like when you get any black fighter that's good, the entire population that's not black is on the fence. They're like, I'm gonna like him, I'm gonna hate him, da 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 da. When he's good, the moment he said that shit, they were like, oh fuck him and everything, fuck him.
it
He
was before
represents
that.
them. It's over.
It was before that. It was like a couple of years before that, and because he said something else about black folk, I forget what it was, and people started saying, "Oh, before
He's
people
going
knew his name, he
down.
was doing interviews and talk about black things and this and the third." And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Remember when AJ went up there? He didn't say black. When he went up there and speaking for his neighborhood he was from, bringing businesses to the neighborhood, he was saying community, 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 community. People were saying, oh, he's only doing it for black people. He never said nothing about black people. And they was on his fucking ass. And they know the neighborhood fucked up. And they know the neighborhood full of black folks.
Oh, AJ just got reminded he's black after this Usyk loss. They reminded him, threw his ass in the dumpster. They're like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, AJ was never good. AJ was
picking him to win.
AJ was never good. He's a big slow puncher. All he had is one punch. Da 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 da. They gave him the straight up Wilder treatment while the fucking fight was happening. It was fucking hilarious. In the beginning of the round, people were like, man, AJ could win this. By the fucking 11th round, AJ's nothing but a big slow puncher. I never rated him. Da da da. Like all kinds of
All of a sudden, they not this person's. We seen that with the Wilder versus Fury trilogy. They was turning into, oh, I'm not Fury fans. I'm not a Fury fan. Now everybody is fucking Fury fans now. But
and all of a sudden, Wilder has gained years of skill. All of a sudden, once they realize that's Fury's only notable win under fucking 40. Yeah, all of a sudden, Wilder's actually pretty solid. He's the fucking Yordenis Ugas of the heavyweight fucking division. Nigga, shut the fuck up. You call him a talentless bum, and that's how it's gonna stay.
These niggas is crazy as hell.
Can't even bring up. They don't even want to bring up how UCAS said that his fight in 2015 February is supposed to be a disqualification, and it's on their website still in the PDF format. They don't even want to talk about that. Like, why is that? Because at the end of the day, this is the funny thing when it comes to you popping for piss tests. The rules don't say you have an excuse for popping. The rules say you are responsible for what you put in your body. It's not like the Alexander Povetkin. I was just taking what my trainer put in my medicine thing per day. I didn't know what it was. There ain't no fucking excuses like that. The same thing with Dillian White. Dillian White popped twice. You can't let the dude slide again.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up
that
Dillian
same
White.
excuse, like, oh, I don't know where it came from, and this and the third. The reason point being out there, the reason why they do things the way they do over there in the UK with the triple BOC and UCAT is because can't nobody know what actually goes on. Ain't no minutes. Ain't no the fighters can't say nothing. Can't nobody say nothing. But everybody just supposed to believe these people. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. There's one fine thing in life that people need to understand when doing business. That's trust but verify. But how do you trust somebody that's a drug cheat, get in the ring, and then have all these little things in his career that are suspect, and then you don't question it?
I am so glad you brought up Dillian White. Can I ask one question about Dillian White real quick?
Go
How
ahead.
come everybody is now comfortable with Dillian White not getting his title shot? Hmm?
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 Well,
How
is
come everybody
everybody?
is cool with Dillian White sitting down somewhere now? I feel like now that the WBC belt has changed hands, all of a sudden everyone's cool with Dillian White not getting his title shot. Dillian White doesn't deserve a title shot. Dillian White shouldn't be getting the title shot. He needs to sit the fuck down somewhere and do something else while grown folks talk. Why am I hearing that all of a sudden?
It's not everybody. Um, but majority of the people do want. Well, I'll tell people this: have that same energy that y'all had when AJ and Fury was doing that old undisputed talk that you have for this fight. But you are right. There are a lot of people out there telling Dillian White to get out the fucking way. Like you said, let grown folks play, right?
Right.
But the flip side to that is that they have guys out there saying, "Oh, he's been waiting a long time. This is the third." I was like, dude, that's not. Look, I made a video a long time ago, and I like Dillian White as a fighter, but a long time ago, years ago, I'm going to say about like 5 years ago, that's when he should have put his career in his own hands and did his own research, like Artman, me, and you. Because how do we know the WBC rules more than him, and he's just listening to Edward Hearn talk about I've been number one in this long, blah blah, whoop whoop whoop. I've been silver, this in the third, but silver don't mean shit. Only
Man,
thing that means shit is when the WBC goes up in there and they little black room and do a vote and make you the mandatory. That's the only time it actually matters. The only time the WBC screwed Dillian White is with Dominic Brazil, and that's it. All that other shit was on Dillian White's dime. The WBC tried to help out Dillian White one time, and that was the fight, and that was right before the Povetkin fight. They ruled that at the end of that year, that the winner of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury have to fight him and go in negotiations in the month, figure it out within 30 days, or the belt goes to Dillian White. That's what they ruled before the Povetkin first fight. He lost against that motherfucker. That means they would have to make a vote again to put him back to reinstate him. Now they reinstate him. Now if he loses against this motherfucker, I don't want to hear shit about this bitch again.
I just want people to have the
hey,
same
look,
energy. If he wins, I want people to have the same energy they had with Wilder. They were bugging Wilder to fight White this entire fucking time. All of a sudden, it's White's been waiting. White's been waiting. Wilder don't seem to want to fight him. He's been the mandatory 1,000 days. Okay, whatever then. Now the WBC belt has changed hand. White's in position. If he makes it past Wilder, which I personally think he will for my own reasons, if he makes it past Wilder, have that same energy because Usyk got AJ problems. Fucking and Ruiz is probably gonna be fighting Martin. Wilder got to do something else. What else is Fury doing?
Wilder got a suspension all the way to April. What I
Oh
heard.
right, yeah, right. April 20 of next
He
year.
can
Yeah.
get cleared before that though. He can get medically cleared before that. I've seen it happen before plenty of times.
Man, he took a lot of punishment in that fight. It's the punches in the back of the head. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I honestly believe Fury was on some shit that night, man. Because the
Me
way he
too.
got hit like that and got back up, I'm like, dude. And they talking about he just built different. Nah, nigga, he ain't just built different. And the motherfucker had stamina all the way to the finish. I'm like, yo, how?
That's exactly what
How?
I was gonna get on.
How? But they like, oh, don't bring that up. Don't bring up cheating. I get it. I don't want to be like, oh, the guy who just keeps on talking about cheating and this and that. But it's just like, bro, it's some questions, that needs to be answered, man. Like, how the fuck you get this stat? Where did this shit come from?
Having that amount of endurance while only getting older and increasing your body fat percentage does not make any sense. It's I don't think it's coincidence that himself, the Fury, and Canelo can somehow gain weight, not slow down, maintain the same stamina they did at, I mean, Fury hasn't gone down or up any weight class because of his height, but at lighter weights, maintain power and everything and have absolutely no changes. And coincidentally, they both have a thing for tainted meat. So there's obviously something to that, because it
Hey, who
doesn't
that
make
brother we talking with? Who that right there?
what, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm D Hive. That's my YouTube name.
What, D Hop?
D Hive.
D Hive. Oh, my bad, because I'm sitting up over here talking to you, do not know your name, man. And you spend some facts, man.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
I agree with you with that, man. Shit.
they only
That's a hell of a coincidence, if you ask me.
yeah, they're the only two. They're the only two that gain weight, maintain stamina, maintain power, no performance fluctuation, and somehow have the same type of cardio. The only time we saw Canelo stressed is when he was bicycling against Triple G. That's it. Other than that, he's been fine. But yeah, how do you get older, consistently get older, develop punching power, fall more and more out of shape, increase your body fat percentage, but have better stamina each time? Stop.
And nobody questions this is me. When Ben Davis talked about what happened between him and Tyson Fury, they didn't listen to it. They just wanted to hear what they want to hear. I did a video. Ben Davis literally told folks the motherfucker wants to train when he wants to. And Ben Davis said it was my suggestion to jump on Wilder early. It wasn't Sugar Hill Stewarts and stuff like that. And he even said it in the interview. He was not fine. He was not following the diet plan. And he even said in the interview, I knew that Tyson Fury wasn't in a good place and is in the third. And so I rang him up. I was like, hey, mate, man, you want to go to the gym? And he said no. And so called him again. And then finally we went to the gym, and, and then after that we talked a little bit. Then, I figured that it wasn't a good place for me to be there. And so, and I knew Josh was having a fight come up. So I went up over there, and he's talking about Josh Taylor. You see what I'm saying? And people don't want to listen to that. The dude, but everybody else, from Tank Davis to Deontay Wilder, Earl Spence, all these other, black guys keep getting questioned about their integrity with going into the gym. How, you know what I'm saying? And being in the club, smoking cigarettes and shit like that. Everybody questioned him. Nobody's ever questioned Tyson Fury with nothing.
And he's openly admitted to being a drug addict. He's like, yeah, I party. I was on drugs. I be drinking. I be doing all kinds of shit. But then Tank does nothing but stay in the gym, and they call him Fat Tank. I mean, shit. They were calling Caleb Plant fat.
Okay, let's look at this. Right? Long time ago, when Sugar Ray Leonard had an injury and he got on coke, right? When he came out and said that shit, people got in his fucking ass. When I say they got in his ass about it. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that saved him was
educate me on that.
He was on coke. He was fighting an injury, and it just never healed right. And he got on the coke.
What? I ain't never heard that.
Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah, go look it up. Like
cocaine used to be medicine.
I know. I believe.
The Crunk Gym, they had a cocaine bust back in the days, where Emmanuel Stewart and all them had to go down to the police station to give and had to talk to the man. Yeah.
Well, Emmanuel Stewart, we all know used to party, so we all know that.
No, I'm being dead ass. If you look it up, I think there was only one dude that did jail time because he didn't snitch. Okay. Everybody kept their mouth shut. Yeah. It wasn't because of all the other stuff he was talking about. Like they was doing some shady ass shit. And then I'll give you another thing. Moses Urania, Joseph Moses Urania is actually Joseph Diaz's promoter. I mean, manager. Really, he is on paper. I got the court documents to prove it.
Okay,
right?
I know who that is. I know that.
That dude's associate is a Daniel Kinningham out of Mexico and got bodies on him.
What the fuck?
I mean, Kinahan himself. I mean, people just gave Tyson Fury a straight pass for being managed by a narco terrorist. Like, okay,
It's true. It's true. When they had that big ass shipment, that big ass bust in Mexico with the cartel and all that shit, they were trying to link that to Daniel Kinningham because they saw they saw how it affected the fucking drug flow out there. You can look it up. And all this stuff I'm talking about is out there readily available, but nobody wants to talk about it. And this is one thing I hope. I think the only people that can do this is Vice News. And the only reason why I say the only people that I think they can do this is Vice News. That's the only one that people will actually listen to if they actually did it.
If they did like a Vice piece on Tyson Fury?
On Daniel Kinningham.
BBC already did one on him and busted this shit wide open, and the British population don't give a fuck.
They're not out here. Vice News is international. Look at their views.
American white people are gonna pretend to be even more ignorant than fucking UK white people. Please, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Vice News isn't reputable, but when it comes to indicting people like Tyson Fury and others, they're not gonna give a shit.
Well, this is the reason why I'm saying this though. Look at Surviving R. Kelly. Look at the Michael Jackson shit. They made the Michael Jackson movie. Hold up.
They're both black. Of course they're gonna listen to that.
Well, what I'm saying is when big organizations do things like that out here, people else get involved. And I'll tell you one thing, and you guys go out there and do this. I contacted the FBI for a FOIA on Daniel Kinningham. And I got the screenshot somewhere, and it basically says like we can't give you no information.
Because there's an investigation going on.
They gave me a two-page letter.
And that's just so wild because if you think about it, it's like, dude, man, we talking about big money being involved, dude. I honestly feel like Tyson Fury is a small, like, chess piece on a big board, to be honest.
He's not a small chess piece. He's a big chess piece.
He's a big chess piece. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But you know what's interesting, though? The only time people say anything negative about Tyson Fury, when they're not black or it's not involved with race, they only bring up the fact that Tyson Fury cheated one person, and that was a John McDermott of the UK, who everyone says beat his ass the first time they fought. Everyone. That's the only time people ever say anything semi-negative about Fury is when they bring up a John McDermott who he allegedly robbed in the first fight. But John McDermott's also white. But that's the only time people want to say Fury got away with something. Fury cheated somebody. Fury got outboxed. Because we still haven't heard of John McDermott.
It's like Fury had one too many accusations where it's like, bro, come on, like,
can't everybody be lying? We all can't be lying.
Everybody be lying, nigga. Like, bro, really? Everybody? But they ain't hearing that shit. They got what they wanted. They got two white champions.
No, I watched it, man. I watched that thing twice. John McDermott was that motherfucker. Ain't no legs, bro.
Yeah,
ain't no legs.
And that's what happens when you're managed by a narco terrorist. You're not gonna lose decisions. They're gonna have to literally put you unconscious.
That's like us watching that Parker fight. We all know who won that shit.
Salute to everybody in the chat, man.
Parker versus who?
Have Artman Boxing. Y'all go to my website, get
some
artmanapparel.com.
Oh right, yeah, when they first fought. Yeah, Parker didn't look good.
Not at all.
Yeah, he looked like Buns. He was getting manhandled worse than fucking Usyk's ass was when Chisora was in there with him. And that's why you got to fight him again, actually.
Yeah, but you know who else is supposed to fight? You know the Juggernaut. Is he gonna be up to it? You know what I'm saying? And all these other cats, But yeah, I just find it, And I just find it funny because when you start thinking about the game of boxing and stuff like that, and that's the reason why I tell people all the time is fuck what the fuck what you think about Wilder when boxing is giving you the fuck. I told you guys the zone coming up over there, and you guys getting happy because it's the y'all think it's a black eye for fight fans out here. When the zone is already talking about pay-per-view, and I told you guys that. The zone is always business model been to make money. To make money. Not to give you fights at affordable prices, but to make money. Do you think these these big ass premium fights, they're gonna want to have it at $20 a pop? No.
Why they
They always
comparison?
wanted that shit more.
The
Why
zone
they
does not have the stable
in
to
life?
provide a sustainable pay-per-view model. They never have, and that's why when they proposed it, even the zone supporters were like, "Hell no, you better not make this shit more expensive. We ain't finna pay no damn $75 for some damn cheeseman."
Yeah. Oh, remember? Remember every time you did it, every now and again they give you a survey.
Yeah,
I heard
Like
they
you log
survey
in
that piss
and
people
they
off.
have a survey right there for your ass. When you leave, they have a survey right there for your ass. But everybody on the Zone USA and that's making all these decisions, except for John Skipper, ain't even American.
yeah.
People from Sweden and the UK, from other places, ain't even American. They social media guy from Sweden or woman from Sweden. The public relations, all them dudes ain't from here. What the fuck you know about us?
They need hire our man. Real
I
shit.
mean, they
How,
hire me and you. They be like, oh, they hire some racist motherfuckers on there. They smoking blunts and partying in the conference room all the time.
They're gonna
Look,
be
Mike
biased.
got a stripper pole in there.
They're gonna be biased like we are to their people. They're gonna do exactly what we're doing, but they're gonna do it back to us. Yeah, that shit was
Yeah,
hilarious.
exactly.
When them survey results came out, though, I was dying because, like I said, even most of Dazzling subscribers were like, "Y'all bet not switch to pay-per-view with this bullshit y'all be putting on every weekend." You think people really about to pay out the ass to see Galahad versus Kiko Martinez? Man, if you don't sit your ass down
Well,
somewhere and keep collecting this $20 a month.
well,
He's
you
been
have to understand, but that's what they want, right? They've been telling us that these guys are pay-per-view stars and stuff like that, that you ride or die and all that stuff like us out here. Now where you at? You know what I'm saying? We ready to pay $80 for a pay-per-view and knowing now well when we turn it on, it's gonna be 10 seconds short, 30 seconds short. Every time we refresh it, we can't even get the damn thing right. But we're
man.
willing to support.
That bro, man, that Floyd versus Logan Paul shit, man. Bro, we had to wait till like after the undercard to watch the fight, bro. Real shit. It was just crazy because shit wasn't loading up. Like, man, we spend that type of money just to watch half of the program sometimes.
Thank you. Thank you. And this shit happens damn near all the
Oh
time. I
fuck!
tried to watch the Tony Harrison fight, and this shit said, "Oh, this shit is out of your provider thing." I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? So I had to get on the screen.
Right? Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I'm
I was in
saying?
that same situation.
Ain't that some fucking real ass shit?
Look,
It's like, don't they know?
and
hey,
with
I think
Dazzle's horrible ass stable, they cannot afford mistakes like that. You
something
can't
saved me
afford it.
because
Yeah.
I was trying to buy Crawford versus Khan, but for some reason the ESPN app was not working. And I was like, yeah, let me just go on this stream. I'm like, bro, the fight's over. What? Shit, I'm glad I ain't buy that shit.
Hey, Art Man, it did it to me before. Like every time I
ESPN.
tried to I could get on, right? But every time I tried to watch the fight, it just kept loading. It just kept that loading. Like look, it wouldn't. So I even restarted my phone, uninstalled the app, still wouldn't work. And I was thinking in my head, like, what the fuck going on?
I don't know what it is. And it is what it is, but they be complaining about like basic stuff like what, $40 a pay-per-view? But I get it. Nobody want to pay to see that bullshit. And that lets you know they market of fighters are fucking trash, to be honest. They got
Garbage.
where Fury fight at? Fury fight here.
All I got to say is Top Rank fucked up, man, big time for this lead up to the Wilder Fury fight because they streams kept fucking up. The sound wasn't right. The volume kept fluctuating. The camera quality kept fluctuating. You up on YouTube watching it, and it's cutting out, cutting back in. Man, I don't know how the fuck they didn't fire nobody.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I was there at the fight, man. I still haven't even watched like the playback of that shit. I was like, fuck it. I
I mean,
seen.
Top
I'm
Rank.
good. I'm
Top Rank
good.
was bullshit on that Maloney versus there was like it was like a trilogy match where Jason Maloney fought some dude and he claimed there was a headbutt situation. There was clearly no headbutt and they still robbed dude.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Top Rank Aram even said we paid extra money for to have the fucking playback and still nothing.
Well, see that, but that's it. Well, I'll put it to you like this: that playback really, well, the instant replay really is just for cuts. Really, they don't do the instant replay for knockdowns and calling the knockdown later. They don't do that in boxing. They don't.
They don't do the playback and say, "Damn, Tyson Fury was on the floor longer than we expected."
See, but that's the thing, Art man, is that like when you watch Resin, right? The ref ain't counting. They actually got like a thing one on everybody can hear it. It's on speaker.
Mm.
Like it's automated.
Mm.
But in boxing, you have a ref literally moving around the ring, overexerting himself, pushing fighters back from each other, moving around the ring, taking a little 60-second break, moving around the ring the whole time, right? Then when somebody get knocked down, he gotta look at the timekeeper, look at the other fighter, tell him to move over there and count. That's the reason why in boxing it's a 10 count. Because it's like Jack Reese said, it's up to its interpretation.
Yeah, Jack Reese would fucking know. Let me go. I remember Jack Reese even before the Tyson Fury, Wilder Fury 1 situation, he even gave Ortiz a fucking damn near 12-second count when Berto knocked his ass down. And that's why it was funny because the announcer was like, "Oh, Ortiz is done." And then Ortiz stood up at like the count of 11 or 12, and Jack Reese was like, "You just beat it. Do you want to continue?" I'm like, "Nigga, you just beat it. Are you kidding me? You were on 9 and you stopped.
Do you ever think that the
What are you talking about?"
Do you ever think that the referees get like a coaching prior to the fight and
Fuck yeah.
say like, now in this fight here, you shouldn't, be so, quick to jump and stop the fight. Give the fighter an opportunity. Do they get those type of coachings? I swear I
Yeah,
feel like they do.
It's not
I'll
even.
give you
It's not.
something.
It's not even that nice. I guarantee you, the referee that was reffing fucking Robson v Valdez was in a room with a fucking black bag over his head, surrounded by a bunch of sweaty cartel dudes, and was like, "Look, motherfucker, Valdez gonna win. You hear me? I don't give a fuck what you have to do. I don't care if fucking Robson is tearing his ass out the frame. Valdez is winning. You feel me? All right, go ahead and make it happen." And that's why as soon as when he got that, he realized like, shit, man, these cards looking terrible. Robson is taxing that ass. We gotta do something. Robson literally taps him on the back of the neck. He goes, "Oh, 1 point rabbit punching," and then lets Valdez get away with that shit the whole time.
I tell you something. I forget whose channel I was on or where I saw this video. There's a famous promoter back in the days, and he said it. He said, "Yeah, cheating happens in boxing all the time, but I'll tell you how they cheat, right? And even the mafia, how they cheat in sports, even to this day, it's not in your. I'll tell you this, right? Um, he's a promoter, and he was like, every now and again, you want to build your fighter, or you want to make sure your fighter wins the fight. That, but you don't have no fighting, but you got to go find somebody. So you got to find somebody credible. You got to find somebody that can look the part and all these things. So you got to find somebody. So basically, it was like, hey man, I got this fighter. He on the fights, man. Hey, do you got somebody?
See, niggas start talking too deep and they get
Yep.
cut the mic off.
They got him. They on the stream.
They own it.
Yeah. He said they know what I mean when I say it because they're part of it, and they basically mean somebody that's going to lay down.
Man, I think I know what video you talking about because I heard a guy that was involved in the boxing world. He was like, "Yeah, man, we'll find a guy We'll tell him lay down in
And
90 seconds.
then what's his name? Michael Fanzines, the Fanzone, the old mafia dude, right? He used to talk about when he used to run the bookie and stuff when players come up in there and because back in days they was not getting back in those days they was getting no millions of dollars like that shit, right? And he used to say like, too big in the hole or whatever to where they can't pay and stuff like that because it doesn't make any sense. What, you gonna kill the person, you never get your money back. It doesn't make any sense. That's some movie shit. He said basically he would be like, hey man, you know, uh uh before the first quarter, whatever, do this, do that, miss a couple, you know what I'm saying, keep your points under here. Like, the subtle shit because it's all about over and under, right? So in football and basketball, you could bet quarters.
Mm.
You could bet quarters. You could bet how many points a person's going to score. And he said they don't want to necessarily throw the whole game, but they just got to cover the spread. And that's what they used to do.
They used to say make it look good, make it look competitive, but don't fuck around, don't lose. Just make it look close.
No, win the game, but keep the points under, the spread, or don't score as much in the first quarter or second quarters. But some people just bet the quarter.
Yeah.
So on what the score is. Like you look at boxing, it's like, 1-12, under 7, over 7. Win, lose, or draw, knock out in 60 seconds. Shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's ways that you can there's like subtle ways that you can do it, man. And I think I know what video you're talking about, but I remember a guy saying it was one of Mike Tyson's fights. I think it was Mike Tyson's fight when he first got out of jail and he fought this white dude. And he was like
Peter McNeely?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, basically, he's on tape. He said, yeah, man, I told my buddies, bet on Mike Tyson knocking him out in the first round. Dude, and he said within 90 seconds or something like that. Man, he said that dude was almost a fucking second to not, falling through, but he got it out in 90 seconds. He said, man, my peoples, they cashed out. They cashed out big off of that. And I'm like, yo, that shit is wild, man. Like, it's really a science to it, man. Everybody eats, man. That's one thing I learned when I went to Vegas too, man. When I learned in Vegas, man, these people are really sitting there. I seen people there with their notepads or whatever, just sitting there, just betting, watching those big ass screens, watching the numbers. I'm like, yo, this shit is for real, man. If people are doing this on a smaller scale, making like 20,000, 50,000, imagine the people that's making the 250,000, 20 million, 50 million. Shit. Of course you got to study this shit, man. But
and of course you got to fix some shit up for to feed the fan base, to feed narratives, and also with this Fury situation, all it's doing, like with Fury, Canelo, etc., it's grooming the next generation of fans that are on the cusp of adulthood and basically telling them where to guide their money. They're trying to manufacture some changing of the guard, and they're trying to activate a bunch of people to buy into the casual narrative BS and want them to spend their money. So platforms like DAZN actually are able to grow legs in America, and so they can actually survive using the pay-per-view model with fucking trash with a trash stable.
What the Zone should have did was just make it a regular price, like what, $10, $15 a month or something, and then have like special events that are pay-per-view, but it has to be quality fights. I feel like, man, I learned this in the book, man. It's by the dude who made football, Fubu. He was saying basically to the effect that some people, some companies will just they'll have the huge amount of capital to just buy everything, all the top line. Let's say if you're having like a cupcake company, they'll say that they'll buy all the top line products to make it. They'll buy like the best stove or whatever. They'll spend all this money on the bullshit, but they'll forget to focus on the recipe. Because if you have the recipe, All that other shit is gonna come. Focus on the recipe, and the recipe is having good fights. If the zone would have had great fights, people wouldn't mind spending like $8, $15 a month, and then spending that extra 50 to watch like a Canelo versus Charlo on the zone. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't mind spending that. 'Cause
But
one
there's
thing,
no way they can do that though. Art. There's no way they could do that. Like that's the reason why they were Edward Hearn. See, y'all like to call him Eddie. I like to call him Edward. You know, his name is Daddy Gate, right? And basically said it's like, they're overpaying the fighters out here, overpaying the fighters out here, because he didn't know that you see the American numbers, but the American numbers ain't what's it. That's the lion's share of it. What about worldwide? You know, because he didn't know how people make money out here. But you bring a company that people already have promotional brands and stuff like that and deals with these broadcasters. You there's nowhere for you to fit in. You
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
fit.
Salute
and then
to
to top it all off, you come in with your stable being fucking absolutely horrible. Nah, you fail.
Oh, he said your man needs to look at the UK media outlets. Tyson Fury was getting loads of negative press back in the day due to his gay comments. Yeah, I do remember that. I
Yeah, I
heard.
remember that. It wasn't his gay comments. He said a woman's place is the bedroom in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Didn't Billy Joe Saunders like put out a video about how to beat your wife and absolutely nobody cared?
I
No,
mean,
they did. They did. They
he
did. They tried to
take
get
the
the dude
belt
banned
away.
out of the sport.
Yeah,
But I knew he was joking, but he's not a comedian. He shouldn't be. You ain't no fucking comedian. You ain't got no jokes. The punchline wasn't right. We know he was joking. But the thing about it was that it's a sensitive topic out there worldwide when women get beat by they men. And you're not a comedian.
this nigga advocating fucking nigga. You're a boxer, so you telling other niggas to beat how to beat up your wife during the pandemic? What the fuck, bro?
And
If a nigga did some shit like that, it'd have been over for him. I'm sorry,
I'll put it to you like this.
it'd have been
If,
over, bro.
if Wilder was with Jay Prince, they'd really be on his ass.
Yep. Now, speaking of that, man, somebody said, hold on, let me read this chat here. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Um, dude, shit just crazy, man. When it comes to this boxing shit, dude. Like you say, they tell us basically go fuck ourselves, and then boxers are telling us that we broke. Like, and then here we are coming back for more. But one thing for sure, we ain't coming back to no damn Charlo page. We gonna watch him fight it. If he fight Castano, we gonna watch it on the free stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll stream it, see if he win or lose.
And that's so fucked up, man, because bro, do you think companies think about shit like this? Like, yo, our fighter, he's doing something real stupid, like fucking up his fan base. Do you think they think about stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they think
they
about stuff
have to
like
to a
that, but
certain extent because they got to be careful with how much they push him. Because if all of a sudden Al Heyman starts pushing Jamel Charlo as like his new favorite fighter, that's gonna make Al Heyman look suspect.
well, Al Heyman don't really press anybody as his favorite fighter. You wouldn't even know. You
No,
wouldn't
I
even know
under-
because he don't say shit.
no, I understand that. I'm just saying if all of a sudden we started seeing a bunch of positive press about Jamel Charlo from PBC lauding his fucking boxing takes, that would make the whole organization look kind of suspect. That's
No,
all I'm saying.
no, it won't. You have to understand this. Like, this is what I get from it with Al Heyman. He's just trying to get these fighters as much money as possible they can get, and that's it. And make a little couple dollars on his end, and that's it. He's not out there, you know, advocating for, you know, better piss tests, more comprehensive um, um,
Screens.
actual list of what a glove is supposed to be made of. You know what I'm saying? Because there ain't one. The only thing you see with gloves is pack. Um, the
Sometimes not even that
the
apparently.
timekeepers, the ring sizes, um, the vetting of these boxing commissions, the people that's on the ground, the vetting of them.
Do y'all
Um,
ever think there's gonna be a cleanup of boxing?
no, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you why. Until they get the shit down, so the precursor to this should be this investigation with the Olympic shit, the amateur fights. That's what should be the precursor to that. They hit them up. They found some collusion, right? Known shit, black and white. But look
What
how
did they
all that
find
shit
out
has
in
been
that
swept under
Rio?
the rug.
What did they find out in that? Because they said corruption of
That the
what?
niggas was cheating. That's the reason why them two dudes had to fight again. It was cheating. That's the reason why Joe Joyce is out there talking about give me my goddamn gold medal. They was cheating.
Who was
And
in
he
that Olympics?
huh?
When Anthony Joshua in that shit?
Hey, look, it's been that shit been going on for years. Mayweather, all these cats been going on for years with cheating in the amateurs and stuff like that. And some of these fighters out here would tell you about the amateurs that the shit don't look. The shit was way worse.
Didn't Roy Jones get robbed too?
Yeah, I seen that shit.
Come on.
Roy Jones talked about it. He was like, it was bullshit from the beginning. Mayweather, yeah.
And that's why I try to tell these cats, like if you cheating is right there in your face and you see the signs. This is what I told the dude the other day on Mad Chad's channel. Uh, uh, one of them pro Usyk and AJ fan. I told him this because he was like, I'm passionate about boxing, and what Deontay Wilder did is this and the third. I was like, look, dude, what Wilder said does absolutely nothing to you. Does nothing to you. But what boxing does affects the fights that you see. That's what affects you. For
Mm-hmm.
real. People out there are betting on the sport. People out there spending money to get these boxers in the gym, the sponsorships, the Everlast, and all these other cats, right? So when you look at it, when people are losing by these weird ass decisions from the judges, the referee, all kind of shit. These box commissioners out there on the floor doing whatever. You have to understand that at some way, shape, or short form, if it ain't everybody in on it, it's a group of motherfuckers in on it. And you can't tell me if the sport of boxing in the USA is you always. I hate to say it, no offense to y'all, but you see a whole lot of Mexicans, whole lot of them as boxing commission officials, judges, referees, and everybody seem like they know each other.
Every single sanctioning body except
Mm-hmm.
the IBF is in a Hispanic country.
Thank you.
It's in a Latin American country. And also, look, it's even worse. If you go on Wikipedia and look up Bob Arum, it even says under his Wikipedia that he has a preference for Hispanic fighters. It even says that. They don't even hide the shit no more. I'm no bullshit right now. Anybody in the stream, anybody can go verify this. If you scroll down and go look up Bob Arum on fucking Wikipedia, it literally says that Top Rank he has a preference for Hispanic fighters.
He does.
It literally says it. They don't and trust me, Bob Arum is not the kind of person. He went to Harvard Law School. He's not the kind of person that would let his Wikipedia slide. Because you can edit Wikipedia, and I know anyone can edit Wikipedia, but it literally says that because that's basically all he promotes. I mean, sure, he squeezes Lomachenko in there,
That's
Lomachenko
why I
every now
always
and
tell
then.
people, and they try to laugh at me and say, "Oh, all right, man, you taking it too far." I be like, "Man, Bob Arum, it's like when you sign the Top Rank, it's like you fighting for a green card or something." He got all the fucking foreigners, man, all of them,
Exclusively, just
and it's like,
consistent hype
and I'm
jobs.
thinking to myself, like, dude, how did a company go from being created by a black man to being what it is now? You wouldn't even think, bro. I swear, when I found out that the Nation of Islam or whatever was part of the founding of Top Rank or main bouts, whatever they originated as first. It just was totally surprising because I'm like, how the hell did they get this far? To how
Well,
did they?
I
How,
tell you how. I tell you how they got that far. And this is the reason why I mind my business with a lot of talk like this when people talk about things of French writers and is the problem with black organizations and stuff like that. Really, it is the people that you trust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The people that you trust. Maybe Bob Arum really is a good friend of Muhammad Ali. Maybe he really does, um, cared about him and stuff like that in his legacy. But guess what? At the end of the day, he would never be him. He would never be the man that Muhammad Ali was. He would never be the man that the other Muslim brother that was up in there. He'd never be them. He'd never understand them and they plight and all that stuff. He never will. And
He's
that's
never
the
gonna
reason
care.
why it is like it is to this day. You got Terrence Crawford, but the only reason why Terrence Crawford is there because you paying him. But guess what? At the end of the day, you ain't. Who is he fighting at?
Really think about it.
Arum took a
This
shit on
company,
Terrence Crawford.
this company was started by Muhammad Ali and the Nation of Islam. Here they are today with a great Black American champion, and look how the fuck they treating them like shit.
Can we talk about ESPN's pound for pound list release today too? Can we talk about
I
that?
didn't even look at that shit because I got my own art man pound. I only look at the Bobby's pound for pound list of people on Twitter and my fucking pound for pound list.
Bro, I
I'll put it to you
almost
like
threw
this.
up.
I'll put it to you like
looking at
this.
shit.
Anybody that has Inoue above Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, I ain't got no love for him. And I'm gonna tell you this why. If they was in the same weight class and fought each other, who would win?
My thing
That's
is,
how you rate your pound for
That's
pound.
how
list.
you
Not
exactly
accolades. Oh, he got this amount of belts. And it's in the third. This
because
week,
all that
he's in
shit
the
can be
No.
fucking organized. Like all that shit can be fucking coordinated to where a fighter he gets this achievement, he gets this achievement. It's like all that can be orchestrated, dude.
yeah, but that belt logic didn't extend to Jamel Charlo back when we gave a shit about him.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you know what's funny? Can nobody tell me who the fuck Inoue beat besides an old Donaire that had already been ran through by Rigondeaux and who he went fucking life or death with and had to go to the hospital? He fought an old Donaire and he broke his damn eye socket.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. Is that Nino Donaire ain't had the best career outside the ring.
What do you mean by that?
If you go out there and do your research, yeah, Nonito Donaire, he was in a lawsuit with all them cats too, trying to get up out of his contract and shit. Oh yeah, go and ask Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying is like some of these cats, man, it is kind of true. I think some of these cats they do try to mentally break them. But I think the way they do it is they try to mentally break them to get what they want out of them. But what they end up doing is destroying them as a fighter.
And Donaire ain't got the star power to really just jump ship like that. So he kind of trying to stay with his little.
No. Well, you have to understand if you ain't getting what you want and you ain't getting treated right, what you gonna do?
Did y'all see how one of the employees from Top Rank got on one of the fans' pages because he had mentioned fucking F.A. Jabba getting a call from Bob Arum telling him to pack his bags. Because it's like he got on there trying to defend it, like, nah, that's not gonna happen. We still care about F.A. Jabba type shit. And I'm like, damn, y'all out here speaking to random fans because y'all know y'all got a reputation of being kind of shady in these streets. Look how y'all did Elvis. Like, we ain't forget that shit.
Yeah, they know. They know. It's just like when Coppinger came to you for some information.
Yeah.
And then today, of course, we see Coppinger's list. He over here talking about, Fury is pound for pound number 3 on my list because Wilder is a very good fighter. I'm like, nigga, can you rewind to your tweets a year ago? You didn't have any of this Wilder dick sucking energy then. What the fuck is going on?
Exactly. It's all
stop acting like we didn't forget who you were. Do you think that Wilder would be number 3 pound for pound despite being a fucking heavy ass cruiserweight if he smoked Tyson Fury? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't even be top 10.
Yeah, but this is the thing, is like I tell people all the time is like, how the fuck Tyson Fury gonna be pound for pound when this fat ass can't even get down to 154?
He's literally one of the heaviest heavyweights
He
ever.
can't even get down to light heavyweight. So how the fuck is he supposed to be pound for pound? That's the reason why I say the idea of heavyweights being on pound for pound list is asinine. Because a lot of them cats can't even get down there.
People asking, man, should they make a whole separate weight class for people whose size is Tyson Fury?
I honestly think,
They
honestly,
tried to.
people that talk shit about WBC's Bridgerweight thing. Like, I understand that it's dumb that only the WBC is doing it, but people don't understand. It's like when they point out the difference between Wilder and Fury. That's 40 pounds. That's like someone said. That's like Haney fighting Kovalev. Weight still matters even at heavyweight. If you fighting someone that's two, that means someone that's 201 got to fight someone that's 275.
But,
Do you know
look,
what a
look,
fucking
bro,
strength
the
That's
disparity
like
that
that's
WBC
what
is?
I'm saying.
But what up, fellas?
What?
The
Hold on,
WBC did
one
try to make
second.
it super heavyweight.
Hold on, 1 second. Because I was talking to my uncle, right? He's really a casual, and he was just like, so what's the limit for heavyweight? And I was like, man, it's like what? What isn't heavyweight like what? 200 up, 220 up,
It's
Two
201
hundred
up.
of two.
200 up?
No,
Yeah,
201. 200
yeah.
is
And I was
cruiser.
like, basically telling him like, yeah, it's like 200 up. And he's just like, basically like, yo, so you're telling me somebody? We were talking about Wilder's weight at the time. It was just conversation just like that. He was like, yeah, so you're telling me Wilder can fight somebody that's like 300 pounds, or 250 pounds, 280? I'm like, yeah, nigga,
Butterbean was
how it
400.
is. That's just how it is.
Well, the WBC tried to, and they tried to make it super heavyweight before the Bridgerweight.
I
They
Yeah,
mean,
should. I feel like, yeah, not just because of Wilder and Fury situation, but yeah, also you got to think about shit like that. Like, motherfucker was big as shit compared to the guy. And
yeah,
then you got
40.
the motherfucker leaning on him, all types of shit, man.
And it's not even just the leaning; it's the ability to apply power. Like you can say that Wilder has earth shattering power, despite not even weighing like 240 pounds. But that's not everybody. Okay, sometimes weight is directly proportional to your ability to apply power. It's fucking kinetic energy, and you know what they say: mass moves mass. Is why do you think in the Olympics they have the weight divisions a little bit closer together? Or they have them separated by a little bit more because they know someone that weighs fucking 200 is going to move a hell of a lot less than someone who's weighing 250. So yeah, and it's funny because people will praise those who move up from the sperm weight classes like flyweight and minimum weight, straw weight that are all separated by like a ham sandwich. They're all separated by like 4 pounds, but then they'll try to give someone no credit for like going from fucking someone who's like 200 or 220 fighting someone that's 250, 275. Like it's craziness, man. And the fact that Fury is even being discussed as a potential pound for pound with what he's accomplished thus far is absolutely ridiculous to me. Even with his Klitschko victory, like come on, bro. Like it makes no sense.
Joshua got the same achievement, victory over Klitschko. Hooray.
Yeah, with a knockout. It's crazy because they say they always try to denigrate black fighters, but then give everybody all the props in the world for beating them. Like, look at Lomachenko. They put Lomachenko on the pound for pound list for beating fucking Gary Russell. Gary Russell's never even thought about being on it. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then
Exactly.
also, like for example, Estrada is still on there for beating fucking Chocolatito, and Chocolatito was on there for beating Estrada. Sarung beside beat both their fucking asses when they were both pound for pound number one. Didn't crack the top 10. What the fuck is going on?
It's all subjective.
It's now a popularity contest. It's not real. And then of course when you have a pound for pound list, the only complaints people have is what are black people doing on there? What are black people? Why is Tank on there?
That's why
Why the fuck is Terrence
they get
Crawford on
mad.
there?
They get mad at me when I do my pound for pound list and I have fucking Javante Davis on there, Gary Russell on there, Terrence Crawford. Because I'm like, dude, you gotta look at it. I rate Gary Russell high because even though he's been inactive and this and that, he is a fucking skillful champion that's the longest reigning champion. Don't that mean anything or don't mean
And
anything?
and some of the quickest hands in all of boxing right
Quickest
now.
hands. Y'all over here hyped about JoJo Diaz versus Ryan Garcia and fucking what?
Gary
Gary
Russell already
made
beat his
JoJo Diaz
ass.
look like an amateur.
Horrible.
He made him look like an amateur, dude.
And
Man.
King Tug. People thought King Tug was gonna beat Gary Russell. People forget about that. People were
Oh
like, oh
yeah,
King. People thought, oh yeah,
exactly.
King Tug finally gonna be the one to dethrone Gary Russell. You made King Tug look like a bitch. Just
And
stop
that's what
it.
I'm saying. Like, dude, like Gary Russell out here, his mandatories be actual real mandatories, not no eardrum level mandatories, but fighters from all across the world that be good fighters. I
Yeah,
I rate that in boxing. I rate that in boxing.
yeah.
Even
Black
if
fight.
sometimes you don't know these fighters, if these fighters are good, skillful fighters, man, I don't know. I give you credit for that because sometimes it's not just about who you beat; it's how you beat them.
Right, yeah, and black fighters don't get to pick their mandatories. Like look at the mandatories they trying to give Devin Haney. Haney hasn't selected fucking anybody, and all his mandatories are fucking top like well talked about prospects. And they so damn scared they trying to figure out how to fight each other, but then they scared of each other, but then they don't want to take a belt.
Bro,
So it's like, yeah, Haney.
these
You compare
mandatories,
Haney's mandatories to fucking goddamn Yildirim and like all kinds of other people. Is it's not the same. It's not even the same type of stuff.
man. He said, "Who you got on my pound for pound list as number one?" I got Terrence Crawford on that list for number one. I think he's just a really good fighter, man. I think he's actually the best fighter. The guy's really good. I seen him fight all types of styles and beat them all the same type of way, just outclassed them. It's been
Ain't
hard.
mad at you, youngin. Ain't mad at you.
You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't seen people be like, "Oh, who has he fought this and that?" I mean, everybody that had that damn belt, he beat them. It wasn't just like, "Oh, these guys got the Eardrum treatment for mandatory spots or whatever." He just beat these guys. Victor Postal, Gamboa, all them dudes just beat him.
They
And
talk about how Horn wasn't shit, but it's like Horn
it
beat
don't matter.
Pacquiao.
Took the belt for Manny Pacquiao. He
I
just,
don't.
I thought,
Yeah,
I thought, look, I thought they cared about stuff like this when AJ said, "Oh, I don't care about the who holds the belt. I just want the belt." Well, shit, Terrence Crawford didn't give a fuck who held that belt. He beat Manny. Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, so he just beat the dude and took his belt. I mean, I look, I don't get it. This shit is so fucking weird. Jeff Horn beats Manny Pacquiao. Bud beats Jeff Horn. Bud doesn't get credit. Yugas beats Manny Pacquiao. Yugas get credit. It,
check this out. When Terrence Crawford was fighting Green Beans, everybody said Green Beans was trash.
yep.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. fights that same Green Beans. All of a sudden, Virgil Ortiz Jr. is a fucking superstar. I'm like, how the fuck is that when Green Beans is only rated for losing to Terrence Crawford, and y'all said he was a fucking nobody? So how is Virgil Ortiz suddenly ready for the goddamn big time? How the hell did y'all put that shit together?
Tell me about it, right? Tell
I'm
me
like,
talk
I'm
about
like, that sounds like a big bowl of motherfucking cat to me. And then y'all want to talk about how Charlo and Andre don't deserve Canelo, but Ortiz deserves Crawford off of that, and bringing nothing to the goddamn table but his good intentions. Like,
bro.
bruh, what?
Why when it comes to our champions, anybody can just could just jump the line and fight the champion. But y'all champions, oh, this person's not worthy enough to fight Canelo. He's not worthy enough. They was talking about Charlo's ticket sales and all this bullshit. Like, bro, what? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, and then they want to make sure all the black fighters fight each other, take each other out, give each other L's, so they can say, "Oh, y'all weren't good enough in the first place because you took an L." But then they'll say some dumb shit like, "Oh, Charlo and Andrade are trying to preserve their O's by fighting Canelo." I'm like, wait. If Canelo guaranteed beats them, then how are they preserving their O's? That means that you think that they both beat Canelo.
Bro, there's no way in hell that you can tell me that a Yurjum versus Canelo fight would do better numbers than a Charlo versus Canelo or Benavidez versus Canelo. Even a Smith, because then he picked. Look, think about it. Canelo versus Smith or Canelo versus Benavidez. What fight do you think would do the most numbers? I mean, do I really even have to ask that question?
Not really.
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I put it to you. I put it like this, man. You know, there's a lot of fights out there to be made and stuff like that. And what I always say about pound for pound list, yeah, you got to start somewhere. But at the end of the day, it's still all about style,
Bro,
style against style. not all these accolades and all this shit, styles against style. And one of my one of my things is that I look at people and I be like, how the fuck can you get mad about whether or not somebody puts somebody on a pound for pound list when it's all opinions? You don't get mad about ESPN's. You only get because your fighters are on there, and the fighters that you don't want to be high aren't high.
They don't care about their fighters. They just want to make sure there are no black
Bro,
fighters.
they
Because
get
everyone that
mad.
thinks
They get
Canelo
mad.
is P
Look,
for P don't care about no damn Inoue. They don't.
I put that pound for pound list, and I got Errol Spence, Bud Crawford, Javante Davis, Charlo, them all at the top. And people are like, oh, hell no. Hell no. But I'm like, well, who could beat these guys? Who's beating
Not
these
only
guys?
that, how many guys out there is going to beat Tony Harris?
Oh, well, Tony Harrison, he gonna lose to Tim Zoo and shit and all this bullshit. That's what they saying. I'm just like, man, y'all can just talk all that
You,
bullshit.
you, you think if Inoue and Tony Harrison was in the same weight class, Inoue would win?
Nope. It pound for pound, are they gonna do the Mayweather leap? Are they gonna jump up from 120, 135 to fight guys at 154? Fuck no. They talking about Lomachenko's too small, his natural weight. Can you imagine Lomachenko going from 135 to 154 to
Man,
fight somebody
Lomachenko,
there?
Lomachenko could barely hang with the people at 135 now. Hell no. He
Oh, we
fucking
seen it. Oh, we seen it. We seen how he was looking. He was like, hold up, wait a minute, nigga, you hit me too hard.
yeah, he can't hang at 135 right now.
What weight class did Bud start at?
140, I think.
I could swear he was fighting at 135.
I wouldn't remember. I remember Lomachenko started at 126. He was talking about going back down to 130. Then he realized Stevenson crazy ass down there. He was like, oh shit. Like,
Well,
I
that's
gotta
the
figure
thing.
something out.
It's like the higher you go, the more light you get. Like nobody wants to hear you below 147 fighting nobody. Really, to tell you the truth, that's the truth.
I
If
said, I said,
you're gonna move down below 140, you're gonna I mean not 147, but you're gonna go down below your weight class to fight somebody else because you can't make it where you at.
mm. And I say shit like this because they be like, oh, Anui's this, Anui's that, and I'm like, who the hell is he fighting in that weight class? Who's the Sean Porter of that weight class?
He beat a Dusty Donaire, and that's literally it. People can't say shit else. What Payano, the most famous rabbit puncher in the sperm weights? Like, no, Payano's trash. Like people can't give you anything. They just say, oh, because he has belts, and it's like, well, there are other people that have the same amount of belts that fought people we actually know of, and they're not on the fucking list. They just happen to be a little darker. That's all.
Like, we know who Sean Porter is. I rate him. Errol Spence beat him. That's pound for pound level type shit. Oh,
Well, I
Anui,
put
he fights whoever, some bum, and he hits him with a kidney shot. Oh, he's number one. He's better than Errol Spence. What the fuck? Hell no.
Literally. And honestly, with that and the Tyson Fury bullshit, I don't even care for Teofimo that much as a human being, but they disrespecting Teofimo. They letting that shit ride because Canelo's on top distracting them, but the pound for pound is disrespects Teofimo. Like, how you gonna have Fury over fucking Teofimo Lopez? What the fuck?
Fury,
not
I don't know
not
what
only
you're
with
talking
that
about.
is not only with that is okay. Let's go back and look at it. Where was Lomachenko on a lot of these guys pound for pound list?
He was top 10 after Gary Russell. He was put in like the 7 position
They
to
was
like a record of 7-1.
Some people they had him number one
Oh fuck.
for real.
I
You see
remember
these
I
guys?
remember seeing Loma as number one on the pound for pound list.
Yeah, they had him up there.
They had him over. Remember Teddy Atlas had him over. The most famous picture in boxing, I think, it's modern boxing, is Teddy Atlas. They had the graphic of him saying that Lomachenko was better than a then active Ward and Terrence Crawford. I said, "Wow,
Yeah,
that
Atlas was comparing fucking Lomachenko to Muhammad Ali for some fucking reason. I was like, excuse the shit out of me.
But that's the thing is this is what I tell people all the time. You know, with these trainers these ex-boxers and stuff like that. You gotta understand it's like all it is opinion. Everybody wrong. There's guys out there they ain't never boxed a day in their life and get more shit right than them. You know what I'm saying? All the time you hear some of these guys, and know more than them about boxing. You know, but what I tell people historically why, but what I tell people all the time is that if things around you, right, these so-called experts around you outside of boxing get things wrong all the time, and some Joe Blow is out there with no documentation and something trying to tell you something about something, and he's right and they wrong. What does that say about these guys? If that's the case, all these niggas would be Miss Cleo, and we would have our lottery numbers every single week.
Mm.
You know, the validation of somebody just because they're a boxer, ex-boxer, or they're a historian and stuff like that. When it comes to who's going to win a fight, to me, is kind of like an oxymoron because don't nobody know. But with this pound for pound list, when people are making that, because you could look at the vote on ESPN, people you could see who voted for who on ESPN if you go over there, right?
Yeah, I see that shit.
What is it really based off of? Like ESPN is not telling you what the criteria is based off. Is it based off of styles or is it based off of how many belts the motherfucker got?
Pure popularity. Internet popularity. Because there was a time when Triple G was on the pound for pound list and he was rated. Triple G was number 1 the year before Canelo first fought him, and he was ranked above fucking Ward. I was like,
another Stephanie A. Smith. Lomachenko and Triple G, another Stephanie A. Smith hype job.
Right. Yeah. Lomachenko is the future of all of boxing. We have never seen anyone do a step over and an uppercut like this. It's like, nigga, if you don't shut the fuck up.
And you ain't. And none of these guys know nothing about. I'll put it to you like this. You talk about boxing, baseball, football, tennis, and all this shit. And boxing is not the number 1 sport in America. Y'all ain't going to none of these events. Y'all ain't doing no interviews or anything like that at these fights and stuff like that. Like y'all used to back in the days. And then now you insert yourself with the biggest fight, in my opinion, and at least at minimum, the last 5 years. And then you guys are giving your opinion and you happen to guess right. And people are validating you based off of that. But if you would have really done your research, there's other talking points to talk about, i.e. Tyson Fury not undisputed, i.e. Tyson Fury is not the best boxer at heavyweight. He's just the biggest guy who knows how to lean on you when the time gets rough.
And has the longest reach.
And nobody's talking about all the shots that he delivers to his opponent's back of their head. Not just Wilder.
I mean, he elbowed the shit out of Cunningham. He elbowing
Cunningham dirty, man.
And Cunningham was whooping his ass. I actually watched that fight just yesterday. Cunningham not only dropped him horribly, but Cunningham was whooping his ass. He was on some boxing type shit. He was whooping his ass. He was not winning the fight. And then he just had to start throwing elbows and then finally delivered a right hook to put Cunningham down. And Cunningham is literally coming up from cruiser.
Yep.
Cunningham was so light, he actually went back down to cruiser later in his career.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Steve Cunningham is actually one of the guys on Twitter that he would actually respond to your ass.
I know he followed me on Instagram and shit. Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, he followed me on Instagram too.
He's a fellow shipmate of mine. Well, I never met him while I was in the Navy, but he's a fellow shipmate of mine, and he would actually fucking respond to you.
I remember he came out with his own glove gate videos. They hated him, but they couldn't say, "Oh, you was wrong. You wrong. You don't know what you're talking about."
They made that shit seem so complicated. It's very simple. If you have your fist in the palm part of the glove, not only do you get extra added reach for your quote unquote flick jabs, but you can hit people in the knuckle. And Steve Cunningham just showed it easy. I remember people at the Mayweather gym with their fucking double digit IQs were trying to make it seem like, oh, it was impossible. Steve Cunningham was like, hell no, baby, hold the camera. Here's how you do it. Bing, 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 done. They were like, oh, however, am I going to throw a jab? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Like, stop it.
Well,
Stop it.
I put it like this. Let Bass Rutten open up his glove and hit you with his palm
Right.
on the side of your head. Let Bass Rutten do it, and then you tell me how it's not effective. Because that's what he was. That's some of the shit that he did. He hit the dude with his palm on the side of his head, trying to bust that eardrum. Like, this is what I try to tell people. You gotta know the fighter that you're fighting against when you go into a fight. If you know that they're known for hitting the back of the head, choking, and all this stuff, the best thing for you to do is not to let that situation happen. As far as you got to do things defensively and offensively to not let it happen. And if it does happen, you can't blame nobody but yourself because you knew. Wilder knew. And I hate to say it, and I'm a Wilder fan. I'm a diehard Wilder fan, still a Wilder fan. Still, I got my Wilder t-shirts up here in the crib after the second fight. With Tyson, the second fight, Tyson Fury, that same night, I wore my shit to the bar without no shame in the world. Your favorite team, your favorite fighter is going to lose. But that's the reason why, what you said about Art Man is that people do need fans like that. People do need fans that when the goings get tough, no matter how it looks, no matter how people talk about you, no matter how whatever the case may be, you riding for your fucking fighter, you ain't going nowhere. Look at the Oakland Raiders. When was the last time they won the Super Bowl? But you can't tell them nothing. And if you tell them something, they might fight you, stab you, shoot you in the parking lot.
Right. Brian, on some Brian Stowe type shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, was that baseball?
I think that was baseball. But
that might have been baseball. My bad.
I'm from San Diego. So
what would you rather have, Wilder fans or AJ fans? Because AJ fans,
there's some
when you start talking about your race, they jump ship.
Right. Yeah. No, they're traitors.
Wilder fans, they talk about your race, they support it.
British fans,
even if they're not black.
British fans, so British fans, especially the white ones, they're just like American fans. Like I was talking to somebody on Twitter today about White v. Wallen. This man is from the UK. He started throwing White under the bus for no reason. All I said was White has all the tools to beat Wallen, and he's fought better competition than Wallen. This man went on a rant destroying Dillian White's resume as if I care about Dillian White personally. Dillian White to me is garbage. I hate him. But I can't lie, he's fought and beat better people than Wallen ever has, and I think he has what it takes to beat him. Am I saying I'm going to care who wins? No. Am I even going to watch the fight? Maybe, maybe not. But this dude was from the UK going hard on Dillian White, calling him a bum, saying everyone he fought is trash. He's trash. I'm like, bro, I'm not even that invested. What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you doing? And then it hit me. I was like, oh wait, Dillian White is about to fight a white boy. Oh, that's how y'all are about everybody. Okay, for sure.
But I have a question for you though. At one point, did they even try to hit on like stylistically, like how the fight is gonna go down and shit like that, or he just said resume?
Oh, they never do. With biased fans, they always bring. I mean, look at Canelo's fans. All they talk about is resume to make excuses for everything he does. Resume. No, yeah, they never talk about styles. They never talk about punch selection, defense, body composition, height, reach. They never discuss anything of relevance. They just say, "Well, resume."
They say Canelo can beat Charlo because Canelo has a resume.
And then they say that Charlo will absolutely lose because of resume. I'm like, dude, Triple G had no resume, and he was taxing your ass with one punch. He had you bicycling like a fucking newspaper boy. Like, what are you talking about? Also, one thing I want to point out though, Ricky Williams brought up an excellent point, something that I didn't even observe until he mentioned it. In regards to the gloves, So in this fight, Wilder took more punishment than Wilder v Fury 2, and yet he took more punches, and yet his face didn't look nearly as bad.
It didn't look like he got hit with a damn swat fucking frying pan.
Right.
Well, 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 wait a minute. We don't know yet. We don't know anything yet because Wilder ain't said nothing. He ain't put out nothing. You know, we don't know if they're gonna come out here and, with the evidence on Tyson Fury. None of that shit yet. So
Me
I
you
just
either.
mean
know,
from a, I
I'm
just mean
staying
from a
reserved on
visual.
it.
I just mean from a visual standpoint, he took more punches and he looked less beat up than he did in the second fight. That's all I'm saying. Just from a pure visual standpoint.
But I also get what you're saying, Michael, because somebody was asking me, they said, "Art man, you think Wilder's still gonna release that shit?" I said, "Man, I don't know. Will he?
He should
That's
sue,
up,
win or
up
lose.
to that. That's up to that man, because he'll fuck around and kill this whole Tyson Fury parade."
Yeah, he should sue, win or lose. And also, one thing I noticed is that when they were talking about the glove situation, did y'all notice how the camera had zero problem zooming in on Wilder's gloves, like zooming in real super hard, but at no point did they do that in the second fight or this fight to Tyson Fury. At no point.
Even the inside the camp
Hold up,
scene.
hold up. I got the police in here.
Everybody shut up. What the fuck?
That's my homeboy. He on break right now. He over at barbecue some jerk chicken. He on break. Don't get your paper plate, homie.
Shit, I mean some lamb over rice. This shit good as hell. But yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with Tyson Fury. Said it
He
will
should
come out.
he should still sue and fuck everybody's shit up. But
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
he
bro. Tyson Fury movie gonna be crazy as fuck, bro. I still think it's going on. I still think it's gonna happen.
which version?
They gonna do one of them Netflix documentaries. They gonna tell it all. The Showtime movies documentary. It's gonna be
Get
big.
fucking 30 for 30 on
Yeah.
on Tyson Fury.
Don't be surprised, nigga, if it can happen to shit to if big crazy news can come out about athletes years later from generations when y'all was coming up. Imagine what they're gonna be doing 20 years from now, 15 years from now. They're gonna
Yeah,
be talking about the fighters from today.
if they can get Lance Armstrong's ass after
Yeah.
all that bullshit, they can get anybody ass.
Didn't they find Lance Armstrong until he retired, right?
Yeah, Lance Armstrong had been retired for multiple years until they found out his drug testing, and they were like, yeah, basically his entire legacy is trash. He's been on drugs since before his first Tour de France, and he used drugs to get all seven of them motherfuckers, and they basically destroyed his ass, which is why nobody talks about Lance Armstrong. I mean, people recognize him as a great cyclist, but he basically achieved none of it off of natural talent alone.
What was he on? Clenbuterol?
No, he was on. I think he was on like some stamina enhancing shit. I forgot. I can look up what he said for real quick.
And they didn't have the technology to find it, or they didn't know what to test for.
Well, drug tests change every year. Drug tests change every year. That's why the Olympics, every single Olympics, they release a bunch of new samples of people that were dirty the last fucking Olympics. Like it changes all the time because people find new ways to trick the methods, and then the scientists have to find new ways to find the fucking tricks, and and shit like that. Apparently, it says that Lance Armstrong tested positive for EPO, human growth hormone, and diuretics.
Damn. And then
That's that's what
motherfuckers still
he
telling us today it's about the tea. What type of shit is that, man?
right. And he got a long time pass until all the evidence is mounted up, and like they say, pressure burst pipes, and then people were like, "Fuck it, man, that's trash."
Nah, they was gonna cover it up until he fucked up the plan somehow. Nah, I'm just talking shit. But man, I gotta get up out of here, y'all. It's getting late. I work in the AM. I just been drawing all day, doing these logos and shit. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody that hit the chat up. Shout out to everybody that hit the cash app
My
at
first call. I was
boxing.
outside. I got bit by three.
art, man, boxing. We're gonna be back with another conversations. I got some more shit coming up, and I got some more art coming too. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, all that. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.